The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. If you're here, then we are too. It's the Local Show with Tom and Steve right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. And we thank you for hanging out with us on this fall. I know it's Steve's favorite time of the year.
I don't mind fall. I can't stand winter. I'm just excited that Daryl's going to fix you and coach you into not being miserable.
At this age, Steve, you are who you are.
Oh, that's not true.
No, maybe not. For some. For me, it is.
Oh, well.
Plus, I'm Italian. What do you want? I'm stuck, right?
Okay, that explains it.
Well, here's a guy who's actually successful, unlike me, so it's kind of like the counter me. It's Dan Cummings, Director of Marketing and Communications at Honor Flight. And how are you, Dan?
I'm fantastic, guys. Thanks for having me on your program.
Well, it's great to see you. And I know that, I'm going to use one of Steve's phrases. We went to different schools together.
That's a Steve phrase.
From way back, you might have a couple of years on me, but what years were you at WHEN?
62 WHEN from 1978 to 1981, and then again from 1984 to late 83 to late 84 before I went to News Channel 9. So
right.
I was there for combined 4.5 years.
So yeah, you were there. And was Devin Blair still there?
Yeah, the name is very familiar, and so was his personality.
Right. Phil Marker was still running around.
Phil Marker, I got the opportunity to work with Phil in Syracuse.
Sure. Yeah. So I came in just about 87, 88, and Jim Campagna was still there.
Jim Campagna, now
Bill
the news
Fole.
Director at 62 at Channel 9.
Yeah. So you worked with him, all the time you were there.
Absolutely. It was wonderful.
Because he's still there. So that's interesting.
Well, it's good there's still local radio. That's all I've got to say. Then the local shows.
Well, and still good that there's local TV, right? I mean, you rode that train for a long time. And,
37 years at News Channel 9.
God bless you that you made it that long. They kicked me out of the whole, thing, and I had to come over here with Steve.
So you went there, what, 87?
I was at Channel 9 starting in December of 1984.
Oh,
right.
Okay, goodness. Okay.
Yeah. And were you with Christy?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was your co-host. Okay, great. I get stuck with Steve. What are you gonna do? So how did you get into this honor flight? Are you a veteran or something?
No,
like that?
I never served. I graduated high school in 1973. My father served in World War II, and I had the privilege of covering Honor Flight's Mission 4 and Mission 10, Honor Flight Syracuse, as a reporter. And we produced half-hour documentaries on the mission, and I was hooked. I mean, they were among the very best assignments of my life.
What fascinated you about them?
Well, I'll tell you what fascinated me was the humility of these veterans, guys. When they take the honor flight, sometimes they've never even wanted to not only not go and be recognized for their service, that's not what the World War II greatest generation was all about, right? But once they made the trip, and back on missions 4 and 10, it was still primarily World War II veterans. When they get there, when they're on the ground in Washington, it almost transforms some of them. They begin to talk for the first time in many cases about the service that they provided our country, when in many cases they never opened up before.
Explain Honor Flight. What do they do? Where do they go? What happens?
Honor Flight Syracuse. It's been around now for 12 years. This is Mission 21. The day on which we're speaking here, Saturday the 28th, it's Mission 21. We fly missions out of Syracuse every April and every September. Each aircraft, a chartered aircraft from American Airlines, carries 82 veterans to Washington free of charge. Absolutely no cost to them. They go down early in the morning. We leave 6:30, 7 a.m. They spend the whole day on the ground in Washington visiting the World War II Memorial, the Vietnam Wall, the Korea War Memorial, Arlington National Cemetery. And on the mission that's in flight today, they're going to visit the Pentagon as well.
Wow.
And they get to spend time with their colleagues, their comrades, and then they come back in the evening to Hancock Airport after a full day in Washington, being able to be in the presence of the monuments and memorials that were built to honor their service and sacrifice. And when they come home to the airport in the evening, they get a great welcome home. And now the flights are full of largely Vietnam-era veterans, and who never, as you guys know, got the welcome home that they deserved back in the 60s and 70s, quite the contrary. So it's Honor Flight Syracuse. We do 2 missions a year, and we fill that aircraft every April. And
you don't like
September.
this, do you?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
YouTube viewers are seeing you beam, and there's obviously a lot of satisfaction and joy in being part of that.
There sure is, guys, because it gives me a chance to actually meet and interview sometimes and talk to these men, primarily men so far, and their guardians who accompany them on the flight, because everybody's got a guardian, to hear them tell their stories sometimes, and simply sometimes to see the look on their faces as they remember and reflect. And it can get pretty emotional sometimes too. We can never do enough for our veterans.
So what's the extent of your role in the program? You've already done 37 years in broadcasting, and you want to come back out and work again. Do you just work primarily out of Syracuse, or will you do this nationally?
Oh, no, it's just Syracuse.
Oh, okay.
Honor Flight has a couple hundred hubs around the country.
Gotcha.
Syracuse is just one of them. And I serve as best I can to get the word out, to do some marketing and communications for Honor Flight. I MC the welcome home ceremony at the airport.
Gotcha.
And I do a little bit of writing and producing stories about Honor Flight, and it's a labor of love, really. In my retirement, it's a blessing to be involved with this operation.
Yeah. Do you do anything else in broadcasting other than this? Or?
Not in retirement. No, I pretty much stepped away from the microphone, except on days like this. I do host, as long as we're talking local radio.
Sure.
I host a monthly half-hour program on, I hope it's okay to say, Community FM, WCNY FM. They use one of their HD subcarriers. They're one of their high definition, and they put local talk on it. So once a month I do a show. It's called CNY Heroes, all about our veterans. On Community FM on WCNY Public Radio.
How would you like to host the local show with Steve?
I don't think I could beat you guys.
I'm looking for a replacement for me.
Works for me. Replace me? I'm in. Remember, I'm the guy that didn't want to do this to begin with, and you dragged me along. Can people get involved? I mean, is there... and if so, how do they do that, and what can they do?
Well, if you simply go to honorflightsyracuse.org, there's a website that allows you to both sign up to be on our waiting list as a veteran to fly. There's a form to fill out, and we do have a waiting list of several hundred veterans, again, mostly now from Vietnam. So you can sign up, or with the assistance of sign up to fly and get in the way. You can also sign up on that same website, honorflightsyracuse.org, to volunteer, and of course to donate money, because the important thing is, I think I mentioned, they don't fly these veterans at any cost to themselves. But it does cost us roughly $500 per veteran to make this all happen. So you can donate money too if you'd like to. And I would certainly encourage you to click that donate button, because it costs a little bit, and we welcome all tax deductible donations to help us out.
Are there any other organizations in town that partner with you, like Onondaga Historical Association or the Veterans Hospital? Or VA
several. And some of them are direct associations, and some are indirect. You would be probably every veteran service organization in this part of the state, and we have a 10-county catchment area for Honor Flight Syracuse. They're aware of us. They work with us. They refer veterans to us, and they're supportive of what we do.
Can someone sign someone else up if they? I mean, you said the veterans sign up. If someone knows someone, can they sign them up?
Absolutely, yes. Just go on, and you can help that veteran fill out and sometimes they need some help filling out the online form. It's really simple. But you can nominate somebody to fly, and you can help them get everything in order to be on a future Honor Flight Syracuse mission.
How exciting.
Excellent. HonorFlightSyracuse.org. That's Dan Cummings right there, Director of Marketing and Communications for Honor Flight, and has been a pillar of our community as an anchor here on
you're too kind.
Channel 9. So thank you so much, and you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, guys.